It's a monkey life special in Vietnam. Will the rescued pygmy lorises be able to survive in the wild?
Really, it's time for all of us to pull back, get out of the forest, and leave them to it.
The team try to catch a rare sighting of a family of douc langurs.
That could be. Yeah, I think it is.
And Alison meets Lala, the newest arrival at Dao Tien.
Oh. Hello, my sweet.
I feel very privileged.
This is Dao Tien Rescue Centre in Vietnam. It was set up in 2008 and it's the sister sanctuary of Monkey World in Dorset. The staff here dedicate their lives to rescuing and rehabilitating endangered Vietnamese primates.
We just would like to make a nice life for the monkey.
Dao Tien is 160 miles northeast of Ho Chi Minh City, 6,000 miles from the UK park. Dr. Alison Cronin makes regular visits to the island, which lies within Cat Tien National Park, an area of lush tropical forest. It's the first time specialist wildlife vet John Lewis has travelled with her. This trip is very special. They're planning to release 3 rare pygmy lorises into neighbouring Vinh Khu Nature Reserve for the first time. It's the next step in Alison's mission.
All of our primates here are looking very good. We're having a high success rate of returning primates back out into the wild, and it's what our commitment was from day one to the Vietnamese authorities, to the central government. We will rescue, rehabilitate, and return primates back out into the wild. So it's fantastic for the endangered species of primate here.
Yesterday evening, they left pygmy lorises' son, Sylvia and Talai to overnight in a carefully prepared release cage where they could get used to this strange new part of the forest. Now they're heading back to the release spot, but the lorises' sleeping habits have thrown up a whole new challenge and they're having to work round the clock.
They're nocturnal. By the time we get out to the release cage, dusk should be setting in, which is the perfect time when the loris sort of start to come alive and start looking around. So we're just going to quietly open that door and hope that they feel comfortable enough to move around and come out of the cage. But you don't know whether it's tonight they come out or tomorrow night. It's going to be up to them. So we'll give them a chance and we'll just sit back quietly and hope that they come out tonight, but we'll see.
Although they've made the cage as safe as they can from predators, there's still a chance a snake could have found the lorises and crept inside. But they find them alive and well. They're awake and investigating their surroundings.
So where's the best position for the camera trap?
They want the camera to catch the lorises as they come out in order to provide vital information about how they make their way into the forest.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Come.
Good.
But it's a bit hit and miss.
It's really not an easy job following on the loris. We do have their radio collars, but of course everything for the loris happens at nighttime. So with the camera traps even, you can't set them for a big bright flash because that'll just upset and disrupt the loris. So everything has to be considered in terms of a nocturnal species and a very quiet and stealthful species. So it's all new and interesting.
With everything in place, the team retreat to wait and watch from a distance. Mr. Kang, a forest ranger, gently opens the cage door. He doesn't want to alarm the lorises. They're moving very slowly, but they are moving. It's difficult for the team to make out anything in the dark.
We can't really see anything unless we were to approach the cage and get sort of more up close to them, and that's just going to upset them and disrupt them. So really it's time for all of us to pull back, get out of the forest and leave them to it. We'll come back tomorrow once they've sort of gotten out into the trees, and we'll track them down. What will be interesting to see is how far they move tonight. So what I'm really excited about is coming back tomorrow night and seeing how far they've gone.
The Lorises are left to brave the night and find their own way to freedom, whilst the team head back to get some sleep. Next morning at Dao Tien, Alison is working with conservation ecologist Dr. Curtis Pay. Earlier in the week, they managed to recapture golden-cheeked gibbon Dao, one of their first successfully released primates, and take off his GPS collar before setting him free again. Now they're hoping to learn more about golden-cheeked gibbon Da's last year, starting with his first month of freedom.
We're just going to try and dump the information to see where he and his family have traveled over the past year, because it's really important to know so we can make sure we do the right thing in coming years with all of the rest of the gibbons.
So many files.
This is the first opportunity they've had to see if the collar has been working properly.
Covering GPS data, fantastic.
Okay.
So what we need to see is a scatter sheet.
Yes. Show chart.
Yeah.
Okay. Low.
Can we get all data points?
Let me see.
It's an anxious moment as they wait for the chart to appear.
Yes!
Oh, it works. Okay, good.
Each of the points indicates a location that Da and his family visited. It's clear that even in his first month of release, they were moving around the forest extensively. They covered over 100 hectares of the nature reserve.
Really surprised that Da and his family are traveling as much as they did in the first month. It's quite remarkable. And there does seem to be some focus in certain areas. So the question now also will be getting the GPS positions from the map. And then our guys can go out into the forest and see what fruiting trees and what foliage are in those patches of forest, so that we then know for our next release site the good areas that the gibbons are telling us they like to be in.
So the team did a good job in choosing Da's release site, and they're even better equipped for next time. It's late afternoon. Alison and the team have gone back into the forest at Vinh Khu Nature Reserve, where last night they released pygmy Lorises' son, Sylvia and Talai, back into the wild. They want to see if they survive the night and are hoping to track the Lorises using signals from their radio collars.
We're hoping that we're going to find 3 loris sort of in the general vicinity of the release cage, but you don't know. They might have come out and marched off. They're pretty small little guys, but the radio frequency that those collars put off should be picked up by the aerial. When you tune it into the different frequencies, we should be able to find all 3 of them, whichever direction they've gone in. But it's just a case of getting a bit closer so we can get a stronger signal.
The radio collars are less accurate than the GPS collars that the gibbons were wearing, but the tiny pygmy Lorises couldn't be fitted with such bulky equipment. They know from the signals that the 3 Lorises have left the release cage. They're straight into the forest after them. With only Dr. Pay's aerial to rely on, they're going to need a lot of luck to find 3 pygmy Lorises high up in the 30-metre canopy.
Look above this tree.
Okay. She's between me and John.
Very soon, a signal leads them to one tree.
The signal that we're tracking right now is actually the female called Talai. She had quite a good relationship with the male on Dao Tien, so it'll be interesting to see if he's in this area too. But she has come out of the cage and traveled quite a distance.
Talai has moved about 200 metres from the release cage. That might not sound much, but for a primate that weighs just 350 grams, it's quite an achievement on her first night.
It's here.
Now, they really want to catch sight of her.
Spend a little bit more time looking around in this thicket, but quite honestly, we'll be lucky, I think.
Beneath the tree, they plot Talai's exact location using GPS equipment. The plan is to come back tomorrow evening to see how far she's moved on.
She's good.
Yes, Talai.
So, yeah.
Sylvia is somewhere in this direction.
Okay, let's go this way.
One loris located. Now, where is Sylvia? Curtis searches for any sign of her.
Alison, we found Sophia's signal. This way, not too far away from sun. We go this way.
Now we've located all 3 collars. It would be nice to actually see the loris attached to the collars, so carry on looking for a little bit longer.
We don't know exactly where because when they hide, they usually hide under leaves and also have the leaves cover their small bodies. So it's difficult.
They might not be able to see them, but Sylvia and son have found their own place somewhere amongst this foliage.
This will gradually increase the biodiversity of this forest for sure. And 1 or 2 species we establish will improve or increase the possibilities for other species to come back. So I think they will like here and they will find good home here.
It's time for the team to call it a day.
We know that they've left the cage, so we've secured it and shut it. That means that those 3 loris are now officially wild loris back in Vinku. We'll keep checking up on them. Everybody will be coming out here, tracking them down, making sure that those radio signals are moving. So bright future for Son and his 2 ladies. Really, really happy.
It's the early hours at Dao Tien Rescue Centre in South Vietnam. Still dark as Alison and the team set out to look for another species, a group of black-shanked douc langurs they released into the forest 3 years ago.
Yes, it's 4:30 in the morning right now. We've gotten up extra early to head out into the southern tip of Dao Tien to try and find our black-shanked douc langurs, which we've released. We've got 4 out here. We think there's a new baby on board, and we're hoping to find him. We'll see how we go.
In 2008, douc langurs Tan and Chin were discovered living in a cage at a theme park just outside Ho Chi Minh City.
Never a dull moment.
Their owner was persuaded to give them up to Dao Tien, where they were rehabilitated and then set free. Soon after, the centre rescued another female and youngster who were also released. The 4 langurs joined up to live together, with Tan taking on the role of leader. There are reports of the whole family living at the southern tip of Dao Tien.
Mr. Nia has been telling us is that the 5 doucs are all in this area for breakfast, and he often sees them on his boat when he goes out fishing in these very trees that he's looking at right now, having breakfast. There are certain leaves they eat. He knows all of them, and he sees them regularly, so they are out here with us right now. It's just a case of finding them. But, you know, it's a double-edged sword. I really want to see them, and at the same time, how fantastic that our rehabilitated doucs we can't find. Brilliant.
Frustrated, the team eventually give up on finding them today and head back to the rescue centre. But it sounds like Tan's group is thriving in the wild. It's still early morning. Whilst Alison might not have managed to see any douc langurs in the forest, back at the rescue centre there is one very special little lady who needs all the care and attention she can get. Steph is about to get her out of bed.
Hello. Come on now. Oh, good girl.
It's 9-month-old Lala, a baby douc langur Steph is caring for.
Oh, no. So now we're just going to weigh Lala. She'll sit on the scales long enough. And there we go. And that's really important just to make sure that she's putting on weight as she should be. She's not losing any weight. So we weigh her every morning before she has breakfast.
They think her mother was killed by hunters for meat when Lala was just 3 months old. The baby was destined for the pet trade, but would never have survived at such a tender age. Fortunately, she was handed into the centre 3 days later. Since then, the staff have been hand-rearing her. It's a demanding job, and they need to wear face masks to prevent her picking up any human diseases. She has 5 bottle feeds a day. In the wild, douc langurs inhabit the forests of Laos, Cambodia and Vietnam. Like these red-shanked douc langurs, they're beautifully marked and very striking to look at. They're amazingly agile, using their long hind legs and tail to run, leap and balance in the treetops, and they have a most unusual diet.
Doucs are leaf eaters, so they have a very special stomach to help them break down all that tough leaf material. And actually, ripe fruit can kill a douc. They have very sensitive gut systems, bacteria and enzymes in that gut to help them break down that food. So she has a very specialised diet, and we have to make sure that she knows exactly what she should be eating. They do eat some fruit, but unripe fruit. They won't eat ripe fruit like the gibbons do.
And the staff at Dao Tien go to extraordinary lengths to make sure little Lala gets her gourmet meals.
It's very important that she learns exactly what species she needs to eat when she goes into the wild. So all of the leaves we collect from the island, which is the same forest habitat as we're going to release her in, so it's all the same species. And doucs, naturally in the wild, they learn from what they see their mum eat, they will then eat. So what we have to do is pretend to eat things, and then she quickly grabs them out of your hand and decides that she wants them.
With every day that passes, Lala learns more of the skills she will one day need in the wild.
Now she's older and a bit braver, she will run to trees now where she knows that those leaves are particularly tasty. She has her favourite leaves, so that's really good. It shows that she can distinguish which trees have these leaves on, which is really positive.
This is Alison's first meeting with the baby douc.
Ah, this is Lala.
This is Lala.
She looks absolutely beautiful. Hey, little girl.
Yeah, she's doing really, really well. Yeah.
Look what I got. Look what I got. Look.
So she has 3 carers. So Fung here, myself and Sylvia. So it's not one person with her 24 hours a day.
That's really good, yeah.
And Fung is excellent with her. She's still drinking milk. Hello.
Girl.
She's still having milk feeds 5 times a day at the moment. So,
Thank you.
acceptance.
I know. We're going well. We're doing okay. Good girl. I know what she needs most now.
More doucs.
Yeah, she needs a mother, a proper mother.
Yeah.
However much care and attention the team give to Lala, they can't replace her own family group.
She is becoming independent. She's starting to have opinions, and this is the exact time that she needs to identify with douc langurs and not with people.
Absolutely.
Because really the goal here would be to get her back out with the group that's wild here on the island.
Yes.
Alison still hasn't given up on catching sight of douc langurs Tan and his family, who eluded her this morning. The rangers have been keeping a lookout, and this afternoon there's exciting news.
Yeah, we just got a phone call from Mr. Nia that he's seen the doucs just right up the river here, so he's kindly come round in his fishing boat. I'm going to jump in, and I think the others are going to follow on behind in the bigger boat, but we'll get going now.
The doucs move around so quickly that there's every chance they will have gone by the time they get there. River transport is slow, and any noise may scare them away.
According to Mr. Nia, who's keeping very close eye on them, they have now set up their home range right in these batch of trees that we see here. They're here morning and night feeding, and I don't think that they go much further. And now the group's expanding. They're breeding and they're living as wild doucs. So it's a complete story.
They watch and wait. And then they spot some movement high up in the tree canopy.
That could be. Yeah, I think it is.
Tan and Chin, the douc langurs who spent years confined to a cage at an amusement park, are roaming freely, enjoying their life to the full. Tan has grown into a handsome male, keeping an eye on things and protecting his family, including the latest addition.
Absolutely fabulous and a testament to what can be done even from the grimmest of circumstances.
One day, baby Lala will get her chance to join them.
The work here on Dao Tien, I believe, has been unparalleled. In only 3 years, we've rescued, rehabilitated, and put back out into the wild 3 different species of endangered primate. And I'm so proud and honored to be here working with our team on Dao Tien and also working with the Vietnamese authorities. It's fantastic for the endangered species of primate here.
Next time on Monkey Life, there's serious concern when woolly monkey Bueno deteriorates.
Over the last few weeks, he has started to lose a bit more weight. We've also noticed that his breathing is getting a bit worse.
And Xiaoning tries to come to terms with growing up.
I think Xiaoning's sort of beginning to realize that things are changing for her, and she's definitely turning into a big lady now.